Welcome to Mark's Motivational Podcast, another Music Sunday episode. So today I'm joined by a really good guest on the podcast today. It's Thought Brownie. He goes by his
Woohoo!
stage name. So it's actually a pleasure to have Todd. I met Brownie on one of the open mics recently in Smithfield Creatives. They have a few different open mics, so I had a pleasure of meeting Top Brownie there. So I love his music and his style of hip hop is incredible. So thanks a lot for joining me today.
Mark, so grateful to be here, and I've really enjoyed the way you've spoken to your previous guests, and
Yeah.
it's a privilege to be here. I'm just very grateful. Thank you.
No, no, thank you very much. Thank you for coming along. So we'll probably start off like I start off most times. If you want to tell people that are listening and watching on YouTube a little bit about yourself and your background in music, where the journey began, or if you'd like to talk about that.
I'll I'll make a 42-year-old story
Yeah,
pretty short and
perfect.
and
Yeah.
say that I began my journey because of being diagnosed with an autoimmune health condition back in 2021. So I got diagnosed with this thing called rheumatoid arthritis at the age of 37, and it came as a shock to me. This was during the middle of COVID, and my hands and feet were inflamed to twice their size. And I had to take extensive amounts of medication for my health to get back to normal. And it took a while. But that experience made me aware of the fact that nothing in life was promised. And it also gave me the opportunity to re examine myself and say, okay, all of this is going to end. When am I going to make the time for doing something that truly feels fulfilling? At the time before my diagnosis, I was all in on a corporate job that was the center and focus of most of my life. And therefore, I did not pay much attention to pretty much anything else because success for me at that time was getting a promotion, getting a pay hike, and from there to just saying, okay, oh, there is this health thing that I need to focus on. What else am I neglecting? And what else makes me feel alive and fulfilling? So I started to write, and picking up a pen and writing different things felt therapeutic. It gave me a chance to reflect and understand myself better. I also wanted to express myself at the same time. Music has been a part of my life for a very long time. I learned to play the guitar back in 2000, and I have since played for different bands. I've played the guitar and the bass guitar. I have written for music magazines. I've managed a band in India where I grew up. So I've had a lot of experience adjacent to the actual process of creating something from scratch. So, because I played in a cover band, managed a band, written as a music journalist, helped organize gigs, etc. So I said, okay, there is one bit of it that's still left, which is to start making something from scratch and bringing it to life. I
Mm,
had a lot of self doubt with regard to whether what I create is good enough or not. And that self doubt had held me back for a lot of time in my life, preventing me from taking steps that may have allowed me to just have fun and play because I thought, oh, this is not good enough. Why will someone bother? So I had to let go of a lot of that. And so I decided to write and then made hip hop. Hip hop came naturally to me. I, uh, I, I enjoyed the genre because words matter, stories matter. And I like to tell stories of two types: stories of healing and stories of hoping. So, stories of healing to help me turn every piece of shit that life has thrown my way into fertilizer so that something beautiful can blossom out of
I
it,
love that. I
and
love
so
that.
that it helps
Yeah.
me and it can help someone else who's going through a similar challenging time. I want people to feel less alone. So, stories of healing and stories of hoping, because hope acts like the legs that help my love to move and to keep going. So, therefore, stories of hoping in the form of tracks that I write about how we we need to see life from a different and meaningful perspective, that not everything is doom and gloom, and we have more power and more agency than we think we do, and starting small and adding up can make meaningful stuff happen. Thank you for coming to my TED talk.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. Thanks a lot for the very inspirational speaking there. And I love the concept of how you put your music together, like being involved in so much stuff. And can I ask you, I'm gonna ask you to share a lot of your tracks and your links as well, so I can put them in the show notes. But what people haven't heard your music before, where's the best place for to start? Like, what would your one song say? Okay, listen to this song if you want to get to know me, and what message would like to get from for them people to get from you as well? Thought,
Thank you for the question, Mark. The first ever song that I wrote was inspired by Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan was an astronomer and a philosopher who was responsible for NASA taking a photograph of the Earth from the Voyager spacecraft when the spacecraft had left the solar system. And so the NASA engineers had to turn the Voyager spacecraft around so that it could take a photograph of the Earth, and Earth was just a pale blue dot. And that inspired Carl Sagan to say, look, this is all we are in the grander scheme of things. It means that we have a duty to ourselves to protect this tiny piece of the cosmos which harbors life. And we need to be kinder to each other. We need to think for the future. And we need to let go of all of these things that divide us, because this is everything and this is all we are. We're just a pale blue dot. And Russia had invaded Ukraine in 2022. I used to work in my corporate job with people from Ukraine, and I could feel how they were hurting. And Carl Sagan's words sort of came to mind, and I translated that into a song called Pale Blue Dot. So I've picked up words from Carl Sagan. However, I've expanded it to convey something of meaning to me, saying I need to love every human that was, is, and ever will be, even the bad ones, because it's all part of who we are, and we are collectively responsible for being better than we were yesterday, and that's the only way to move forward and to make progress as life on this beautiful planet that we have. So my point of entry for anyone listening newly is a track of mine called Pale Blue Dot, which is available as part of my first album called Man of Substance on all streaming services. Yeah.
brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to sharing your music as well because for anybody that's listening, definitely check out Thought Brownie's music. You won't be disappointed. So that's great. So. Can I just ask you, how do you find the open mic scene? Because you've been involved in that for a while. How do you find the open mic scene in Dublin yourself, Todd?
So I have never been to open mics before in India, where I grew up. I moved
Yeah,
from India to Ireland in 2018, and I have lived here for 8 years. I'm a naturalized Irish person
yeah,
at the moment. And uh, the experience of open mics for me was wonderful because it was a safe, welcoming space for someone new to be encouraged, no matter how early they were in their journey as an artist. And it's just like riding a bicycle. The first few times I rode a bicycle, I fell off, but I sat back on it and I kept going because going places mattered. And in the same way, when I think of my journey in open mics, the first few times I forgot some of my lines. I wasn't able to keep time with the beat, in a way that felt like I was doing my best. So I fumbled and made quite a few mistakes in the early stages. I was met with nothing but encouragement and support from different people, no matter what. I knew that I could get better, and I my inner critic told me all the things that I hadn't done well, and I got support and champions and cheerleaders, and that's made me want to be that person for anyone who shows up, and to applaud them and appreciate them, because I know what it takes to show up, and I know how precious it is for every person, for the art that they have created. They go, this is the best of me, and I'd like you to experience it, please. And when someone does that to me, I feel privileged to listen to
Yeah,
new
yeah,
material. And it feels wonderful to connect with fellow people on this journey, and get to know some really nice human beings as a result of that.
great
Yourself
answer.
included.
Yeah. Oh,
Yourself
thank you.
included.
Thanks very much. Um, yeah, so as well as that, can I just ask you about your process for writing your great music as well? Because some people kind of comes to them in divine inspiration, or you might call that, or you're saying you play guitar as well. Do you ever kind of use the guitar to write your material, thought, or
So, Mark, I have not used my guitar to write my hip hop. I play songs by artists that I love
Mhm.
on my guitar. So it's more of uh, it, it's more skill rather than creativity on the guitar at the moment. But the
Okay, yeah,
process for writing my songs, it always starts with the words for me.
right, yeah,
And
yeah,
I write 4 lines every day. So I have written 4 lines of verse every day since the 1st of Jan 2022. I
wow,
haven't I haven't
yeah,
skipped
yeah,
a day.
yeah,
And the reason is I have found that when I wait for inspiration, things sometimes don't show up. But when I show up, inspiration shows up after that. So when I say today is my time for sitting and writing 4 lines at least. So sometimes I write 8, I write 20. Sometimes I get in the flow and I keep writing more. But I commit to myself that I will write 4 lines. And even if they are not the best, the fact that I'm here and I'm moving things just by a little every single day
brilliant, yeah,
gives me this feeling of progress towards bringing something from idea to full song, and being able to craft it in a story that feels good to me when I read it
mm,
back. If I enjoy the track and I find meaning in it a few months later after I have written it, then I go, yeah, okay, this feels like something that represents the best of me that I feel comfortable sharing with other people, regardless of what they will think.
yeah, right. No,
So
that's
that's
brilliant.
the process.
Yeah,
And then I have a wonderful person named Vlad Tavanyuk, who I connected with on a website called Fiverr, who has been making the beats for me for all the tracks that I'm putting out. I record at this place called Vision Lab Studio, and I work with a person named MJ McJordan Amarte, who does the recording, the mixing, and the mastering of the tracks. And I have another wonderful artist friend named Sangeeta, who's done the beautiful covers for the singles that I have been putting out recently. And my first album, this is the cover, which
cool,
also was turned into a painting by the artist who made the cover. So it's a
brilliant.
physical representation of the actual album, and it reminds me every day that I have done something in my life that I can be proud of.
That is absolutely awesome. That's really, really good. I really love that. That's the cover is great. The art is amazing there. Well done. And
Thank
I love that concept you're saying there. Thought is about consistency really is key, isn't it? Like, when you keep it up, I love that principle. That's absolutely amazing. Could I just ask you as well, how have you found collaborating with other other artists? Have you done that yourself much?
I have collaborated with another artist who invited me to add a few lines to his song. So there's a person named Carlos Foster who
Okay.
is a singer and a hip hop artist. He's amazing, by the way. Folks listening, please check out Carlos Foster. He's fabulous, and if you haven't heard him already, his music will blow your mind. Carlos Foster invited a person named Clairvoyance, another rapper named Dylan Savage, and me to add to one of his tracks called Air, which will release sometime shortly. So I had a chance to collaborate, and it was a lot of fun to see how different people approach the same story or the same concept, and how we all, within the time given to us, write those lines and then perform them in a way to bring that idea to life. So this was about trying to find what stifles and constricts us and to let go so that we can breathe in the air. And mine was about a toxic relationship with my cell phone. So then I go, when I let go of my phone, I can breathe a lot more. So it was fun to collaborate and
Yeah.
create stories that showcase one part of the human experience.
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Because I don't know if you're aware, that IMRO, they have a songwriters thing every month, once a month, where you work with other singer songwriters, and it can be very very useful for anybody who's listening who's interested in songwriting. Rob McLeod, he organises it once a month, so I'll definitely fill you in the next time.
Appreciate
Thought,
that.
yeah, no, great,
Thank you,
that's
Mark.
brilliant.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. And can I just ask you, have you any other gigs or anything coming up that you'd like to advertise on the podcast today as well? Just anything you'd like to mention that's coming up shortly?
Thank you, Mark. I go to open mics pretty regularly, and
Yeah.
in addition, I have a ticketed gig coming up on the 29th of October, Wednesday. It's as part of this initiative called Breaking Sound. And Breaking Sound gives new artists an opportunity to perform in a venue with a good sound setup, etc., and helps with helps with the ticketing. So on the 29th, Wednesday, 29th of October, at the Generator Hostel in Smithfield, Dublin 7, that's where my gig will be. The link to the tickets is on my Instagram within my bio, and I can share that with you if you'd be willing to
Please.
promote it.
Yeah.
Folks,
Yeah.
if you can
Yeah.
make it, it'll be wonderful. I work hard. I don't take my audience for granted because I get time and energy from the people that show up. And if I take that for granted, then I don't feel like I'm doing justice to the time and the energy that I get to occupy in that space. So please come. I'd love
Yeah.
for you to be there.
Oh, definitely. That'll be there. Definitely to that one.
Oh, thank you,
Uh,
Mark.
yeah. And as well as that, if you want to share the link to the one you just mentioned that you collaborate on, I can share that for you as well.
That's yet to be released,
Yeah,
Mark. So
when it is released, sorry,
yeah,
when it is out, that'd be great. Yeah, yeah,
definitely. Yes, I will.
yeah, yeah. And I can just ask you as well, Todd, what would you say you're most proud of in your journey as a musician over the last couple of years? What would you say you're most proud of?
Oh, that's a great question. Uh,
Like,
I, I, I think I'm the most proud of the fact that I let go of self doubt to say, okay, you know what? Uh, if so, self doubt held me back from doing quite a lot of things throughout my life, and self doubt started talking to me when I was on this journey and saying, "Listen, man, y- nobody will care. Nobody knows who you are. So even if you put something out there, no one will care. It doesn't matter. What's the point?" And then I, there was a kinder voice inside of me that said, if you put something out and nobody cares, it doesn't matter because it still exists. And the fact that it exists in and of itself from just being an idea in your mind is a good journey to be on. It's the output that matters, not the outcome. And so having that conversation with myself and saying, yeah, you know what, let me just try this. Let me see what's the worst that can happen. This has been the most fulfilling choice that I have made as an individual for myself to to want to do this. Because if I don't know if the slides that I made at work, or if the spreadsheets that I made, or the other things that I did in my previous role in a corporate job will have any meaningful impact beyond the short shelf life that they occupy. Whereas art, someone listening to it someday may feel less alone, may feel it may help. I hope it does. That's the intent. And on days when I'm not at my best, I sometimes listen to stuff I've written and go, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's helpful.
Right.
Past,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
past version of me, good job. We high five each other.
Yeah. Well, that's brilliant. Yeah, no, that makes so much sense.
Thanks for asking.
And I thought I really appreciate you coming on tonight, and sharing your great story and your great work with everybody as well.
I thank you. I'm very grateful for the chance.
Yeah. Yeah. And is there anything else I haven't asked you there that you'd like to maybe yeah, say to people, like, even if it was maybe if you had a billboard, let's say, to say to people, what advice would you give them on that billboard for their music or anything they're doing in life? Because this is motivational podcast as well. So just kind of, if you don't mind me asking you that.
On a billboard,
Yeah.
hmm,
For the whole
mm,
world to see.
I I think when the toughest thing I've had to do in my life is to learn to love myself, and to have a good relationship with myself. Because I used to think for the longest time that I would become enough, or I'd be complete when I got validation, I got love, I got attention. I Things happen from the outside to complete me. And at some point over time, when I went on this journey of creativity and of trying to figure myself out as someone who wants to live a life filled with artistic pursuits, I, I developed a sense of self where my criticism was balanced by kindness towards myself. So what I'd say to people is, be kind to yourself and learn how to accept who you are and to start loving yourself. And when you start doing that, you are able to project love outward, and wonderful things will start happening when you get to that space. It's the most difficult journey most of us can be on, to get to a place where I look at myself in the mirror and go, yeah, there was a bunch of shit things you did in your life, but overall, I love you. You got us here. Keep going. And if getting to that place is like climbing the toughest mountain, but the view is so worth it.
Wow, that's brilliant. I love that. Great stuff. So thank you so much, Todd, again for coming on the podcast. Thought Brownie, everybody. Make sure you check out all the links I'm going to put on the show notes that Thought's going to share with me, and definitely go to that gig on the 29th of October in Smithfield, you said, Thought, is that correct?
Yes, Smithfield
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
Generator Hostel.
Generate hustle. Brilliant. Okay, so listen, I wish you all the success going forward with everything you do. And it's great to share ideas with each other. And so thanks everybody for checking this out today. And if you're liking these podcasts and would like them and share them with your friends, that'd be really helpful to me. And once again, everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks again, Todd, for coming on.
Thank you for the chance, Mark. And to whoever is listening, get to know Mark. Mark does some amazing things in his own life besides running the podcast. You did ask me if there was something that I needed. So I would like for you to tell people about where they can find everything else about you besides your podcast. I think you should plug yourself, and I'd love to know more.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that thought. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Mark.
Thanks again, guys. Thank you.
Hello everyone, Mark here. Thank you for watching another episode of my Authors Tuesday podcast. I recently published a book of children's stories called The Adventures of Larry Lamppost and Friends. The book began life as bedtime stories I wrote for my own children. If you'd like to purchase my book, follow the link in the description box below. By buying my book, you are also supporting my podcast series for authors, which is giving a voice to writers in Ireland and across the world.